Kirsten, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am originally from upstate New York, and I got my start in politics mostly because I had a grandmother who loved politics. And she was a lady who, at 20 years old, she was a secretary in our state legislature, and she determined that her voice mattered and that she wanted to make sure women's voices were heard in her local elections. So she spent about the next 50 years of her life organizing women to care about politics. And so I got my start as a 10-year-old stuffing envelopes in a big campaign office, meeting with a lot of women and finding out how important it is for women to be engaged in politics and to be able to be at the table so they can make a difference.
That's great. Was there a moment where you realized you could come out from behind the table stuffing envelopes and actually be the person whose name was on the ballot?
Well, it was part of a process for me. I was a young lawyer in New York City doing big, basically cases for big companies, and I watched Hillary Clinton, our then First Lady, go to China and give a speech about women's rights. And she said, women's rights are human rights and human rights are women's rights. And it blew me away because I had been to China. I was an Asian studies major at Dartmouth. And at that moment, I thought, gosh, what am I doing with my life? She's making a difference. She's transforming the world. She is literally speaking truth to power and really challenging a nation and a world to treat women as equals. And I thought, if I was ever going to be there in China with her, if I was ever going to make a difference, I would have to be involved in politics. And that was the moment I decided I had to get more involved. It's when I joined the Women's Leadership Forum, and Jen and I were on a little committee together to get young women interested in politics. And that's where it started. And so over time, I eventually left the law, and I worked for Andrew Cuomo at HUD. And I enjoyed that experience so much that I thought, I need to run for office. And that's what started my first political campaign when I ran in 2006 for a congressional district in upstate New York, where I was from, and in a very Republican district, but we managed to win anyway. And we beat an 8-year incumbent by 6 points.